OK, listen, I've got to bring you some breaking news just to interrupt this segment here. Lord Peter Mandelson has resigned from his membership of the Labour Party as he does not wish to cause further embarrassment over his links to Jeffrey Epstein.
I'm sure he'll manage.
In a statement, we'll come to this in the panel in just a second. In a statement given to the Press Association, he said he'd written this evening to the General Secretary of the Labour Party, Holly Ridley. In his letter, he said, I have been further linked this weekend to the understandable furore surrounding Jeffrey Epstein, and I feel regretful and sorry about this. Allegations which I believe to be false, that he made financial payments to me 20 years ago and of which I have no record or recollection, need investigating by me. While doing this, I do not wish to cause further embarrassment to the Labour Party, and I'm therefore stepping down from membership of the party. I want to take this opportunity to repeat my apology to the women and girls whose voices should have been heard long before now. I have dedicated my life to the values and success of the Labour Party, and in taking my decision, I believe I'm acting in its best interests. Should we just get some thoughts, if you don't mind? Apologies, Steve. I know you've come to talk about a shocking story that hopefully we've given some justice here. Paul, I'll start with you because you are, of course, a foremost fan of the Labour Party. Why did Keir Starmer just not take the whip off him all this time ago?
I mean, I've known Peter Mandelson since the 80s. He's been around in the political scene, certainly in the Labour Party, for a long time. So this will be a great blow to him personally to have to leave the party to which he's donated so much time. But, good. He's done the right thing, I have to say. He is an embarrassment. He's apologised to the women and the girls, but I'm not sure it's gone far enough. And I think resigning from the Labour Party membership is the first step of many. I think we have to look at his membership of the House of Lords.
Strip him.
And I think we have to look at whether or not he should be allowed to carry on as a peer at all, whether a Labour peer or whatever. And it's very hard to get people out of the House of Lords, by the way. He hasn't been convicted of a crime, otherwise he'd be out. But if once you're in the House of Lords, the best route he can take now, I would say, is to resign himself as a peer of the realm and remove himself from the House of Lords.
Just briefly, why hasn't Keir Starmer resigned, taken the whip off of him?
Well, he doesn't need to. He's just been taken out of the Labour Party himself.
And I suspect been made US ambassador.
And I suspect that was under pressure from Number 10 tonight to do that.
It's been a long time coming. Stephen Kemp, while you're here, would you mind commenting on this? I appreciate it's not really your wheelhouse.
No, I feel very strongly about it. Yeah. I think that these public figures, it just looks absolutely terrible, and I'm sure it is absolutely terrible. When you see those photographs, a picture tells 1,000 words, and these photographs of both Andrew Mountbatten Windsor and of Peter Mandelson, they show so much about this appalling attitude towards the vulnerable, this utter indifference. And it's scandalous in the case of Mandelson, who is a Labour politician who should care about those who are most vulnerable. And I'm sure in many ways he does in his political ideology. But these people are not just expendable. All these victims of Jeffrey Epstein, they need to have... The way of placing the value upon them is for people like Mandelson to just completely let go of every bit of power and influence and prestige that he still has and be humble and show his sort of repentance.
But he's resigned because of the money. It's nothing to do with women and girls, let's be absolutely clear. He took money off Epstein, which he's saying now he didn't know anything about.
When he's partially dressed in those
and his husband took money as well. Yeah. And it was while he was a minister.
Well, yes.
So that's why he's had to go now.
At a time when trust in politics is pretty low, people like Mandelson just absolutely destroy it. I mean, he was a disaster waiting to happen. Starmer should never have made him US ambassador. And the first moment that there was a sniff of problem, he should have got rid of him.
But he did. He sacked him.
Instead, he went to the Commons, Paul, and he said he had full confidence.
And then when he knew the full facts, as soon as he knew full facts, he was out.
That was an absolute misjudgment from Starmer, and it's typical of a man who should not be our Prime Minister.
If I found out one of my friends or colleagues was a paedophile, a convicted paedophile, I wouldn't speak to you. You'd have to get me out of the room with you because I wouldn't be able to control how I reacted. These people are the scum of the earth. And for him to still be a lord...
he's not a convicted paedophile. That's not what you're saying.
He was friends with a convicted paedophile.
Just to be super clear.
And continued a friendship...
For your sake, I'm saying be super clear.
And continued his friendship with a convicted paedophile. For me, that makes Lord Mandelson a disgusting human being. and I think he needs to be stripped of his lordship. And it makes me wonder, is there more about to be dropped from these files? Maybe, you know?
Yeah, well, there was the front page of the Daily Mirror today said more to come, and who knows?
The weakness of Keir Starmer once again not to have got.
Yes.
He's gone. What about Andrew though? Because now he has. I think all eyes.
This isn't about
I think
Andrew.
that's even more serious.
I'll
tell you why, Alex.
Paul,
Andrew is in line to the throne.
He's
in line to the throne.
Let's be clear about
Peter
something.
Mandelson is not in line to the throne, but Andrew is.
Yeah, but
the king has taken more complex action against someone who was in line to the throne and still is. I appreciate
in line
that,
to the throne.
but it has done very complex things to get rid of his titles, to take him out of the royal family, more so than the Prime Minister's done to get rid of Peter Mandelson.
He is still in line to the throne.
Yes,
So hang on, you're not answering my question.
Actually,
why has Keir Starmer not acted against one of his members of his party?
He sacked him as ambassador.
Well, he's still...
And now he's out of the Labour Party after 50 years.
Still had the Labour whip for all this time
He's gone
in
now,
between.
isn't he? Now he's gone, as we found out 10 minutes ago.
Political influence, doesn't he? As a lord, he has political influence.
He doesn't attend the House of Lords.
But he's within the political
Doesn't
system.
matter.
He doesn't attend the Lords. He's on a leave of absence.
You're going to see the full extent to which Trump is actually implicated by all of
Sure,
this.
he's up to his eyes doing it, absolutely.
I think an awful lot of people are up to their
Everyone
eyes.
has to
I
be
don't
investigated.
excuse Andrew Mountbatten-Windsor one iota, the same as I don't excuse Mandelson, but they're not the only two.
No.
If there's evidence, they need to
Stephen,
be prosecuted, and that's what people on the right are consistent with. If there is evidence of Trump, I haven't seen evidence, I've seen hearsay on emails. If there's evidence, he should be prosecuted, along with everyone else.
Absolutely.
Stephen, how do you feel about the whole situation in general?
What, the Epstein situation?
Epstein files, the latest drop of them.
What I hope will happen is a bit like Watergate, where there's no one who is so powerful that they can't be called to account. What I really hope we can get to is a stage where, you know, money and influence doesn't mean that there are some people who never see justice because they just, you know, are well connected, you know. And this is such an important thing for our society, just to show that no one is actually beyond the law.
Indeed.
And we must never forget that people's lives have been wrecked.
Absolutely right.
It's appallingly horrific.
Well said.
Absolutely right. Well, listen, coming up shortly... Actually, let me just quickly read you a recap of this breaking news earlier on, in case you haven't had a chance to digest it entirely just yet. I'll just bring this up for you in just a second. But, of course, the breaking news tonight is that Lord Mandelson has resigned from the Labour Party. In bank statements released by the US Department of Justice yesterday suggest that Jeffrey Epstein made a $75,000 of £1,000 of payments to accounts linked to Lord Mandelson. Between 2003 and 2004, Epstein appears to have sent 3 separate $25,000 payments referencing Lord Mandelson. And of course, today, Peter Mandelson has resigned from the Labour Party. Questions now being asked, of course, as to why Keir Starmer didn't take the whip off of him. That's what we've just been discussing.
There's nothing more important than keeping your money and your identity safe online. And with so many VPN options available, choosing the right one can be pretty daunting. But this video's sponsor, ExpressVPN, is making the choice easier for GB News viewers. ExpressVPN is offering up to 75% off, plus 4 extra months free. That's top-level security from just £2.49 a month, and you're covered by their 30-day money-back guarantee. So just click the link in this video's description or scan the QR code now. Remember, when you're online, you are often sharing personal data, so hackers can steal your information, your passwords, your photos, and your bank details in just seconds. But ExpressVPN encrypts your connection, making it virtually impossible for hackers to access your personal information. So why choose ExpressVPN? Well, it couldn't be easier to use. With just one click, you are protected. And ExpressVPN uses military-grade AES 256 encryption, which is the same standard trusted by the US government to guard their classified information. With their new tiered plans, you can protect up to 14 devices at once and manage passwords securely. Live chat support is available 24/7, and it typically connects you in under a minute with a real person. Click the link in this video's description or scan the QR code to get up to 75% off ExpressVPN, plus 4 months extra for free. Start protecting yourself today with ExpressVPN.
Well, look, let's talk a little bit about Peter Mandelson, given the breaking news and the front pages. It seems to me, Adam, that he has obviously got wind of these front pages and pulled the trigger pretty much before they've broken this evening.
For me, this is a massive embarrassment for Labour. I have to ask why Labour have people with such rumours around them. Obviously, there is no proof of such, of wrongdoing, but it has been rumoured that Mandelson has been close with Epstein for many years, and yet Keir Starmer made him the US ambassador. That is just shocking. It makes me wonder what Mandelson has over Starmer.
Yeah.
It really does, because he should never have been ambassador. He should he should never be a lord still. Again, in my opinion, there's more to come out. And all eyes on Mandelson, because this is shocking for Labour and Mandelson.
Yeah, Paul, obviously, Mandelson has, said that he has done nothing wrong and that Keir Starmer is no way linked to this. Should the Prime Minister have acted? There's been months of allegations here on the front pages, and the photos themselves do a lot of damage to the Labour Party, the party of government of this country, the party, of course, that put Mandelson as ambassador to the United States, which will, inevitably not look good for us. Do you think the Prime Minister's acted too late?
I mean, it does.
Or not acted at all?
It does do damage to the Labour Party, undoubtedly. I mean, all three of us are sitting here with front pages of the Daily Telegraph with Peter Mandelson in his underpants with an undisclosed female
not a pretty sight, Paul.
in a dressing gown. And it's just horrific, frankly, and it is embarrassing. So I'm glad that he has resigned from the Labour Party. To your point about Keir Starmer's actions or inactions, I mean, I would say at each stage where new information has come to light, he has taken decisive action. Firstly, to sack him as ambassador, and now with this, to accept his resignation from the party. And don't forget, he's not a member of the House of Lords. He's taken a leave of absence in order to be the ambassador. He never came back to the Lords afterwards.
Yeah.
So he can be stripped of his peerage, but he's not taking any part in public life at all, nor does he get any public money for being in the House of Lords because he doesn't turn up.
Anna?
Yeah, I mean, it's not just damage to the Labour Party. This is damage to Sir Keir Starmer, because he knew what a liability Mandelson was. He'd been sacked by two previous Labour Prime Ministers. Everybody thought it was a mistake for him to even give him the position of US ambassador.
He only got sacked by one. He got sacked twice by the same one.
OK, sacked twice by a Prime Minister, and he's brought back into such a prominent position. Lo and behold, more has come out, and now Keir Starmer looks, in my opinion, looks an absolute idiot for having appointed him. And telling the Commons that he had full confidence in him after the first lot of disclosures. Second mistake. The third thing is that I think that we are slightly. I mean, this is a disgusting picture of Mandelson. I mean, I mean, it is embarrassing. I don't think there can be any further embarrassment unless there's more to come out about Mandelson, which is quite concerning. But the biggest point here is, what about all the women and girls who were ruthlessly exploited by Epstein? And I hope we don't lose sight of that in looking at these horrible pictures of Lord Mandelson.
Yeah, well, look, we'll come back to this story throughout the evening tonight, because it is on the front pages of many national newspapers, so we will talk more about it throughout the evening.